When people hear the name Nirvana, images of Kurt Cobain's angst-ridden voice, Chris Novoselic's thundering bass, and Dave Grohl's explosive drumming usually come to mind. But before the band became a global symbol of the grunge era, before Smells Like Teen Spirit echoed across airwaves, there was Aaron Burkhard, the original drummer who laid down the first rhythms of what would become one of the most influential bands in rock history. Aaron Burkhard was born in Washington State and came up through the Pacific Northwest music scene, a fertile ground for punk, metal, and raw experimental sounds in the 1980s. In early 1987, Kurt Cobain and Chris Novoselic were forming a new band in Aberdeen, Washington. They needed a drummer who could keep up with their growing vision, one that blended punk aggression with melodic sensibility. Burkhard answered that call. Together, the trio formed the first version of Nirvana. Although they initially experimented with different band names like Skid Row and Fecal Matter, it was during this era, with Burkhard behind the kit, that the name Nirvana was first floated and ultimately stuck. This early lineup was rough around the edges, rehearsing in small practice spaces and recording primitive demos that showcased the raw, gritty beginnings of their sound. Burkhard played Nirvana's first live show on March 7, 1987, at a house party in Raymond, Washington. That gig, chaotic and unpolished, was the beginning of something that none of them could have fully predicted. Though Burkhard's tenure with the band was short-lived, his contribution was critical. He helped get the band off the ground, bringing structure to Cobain's wild riffs and Novoselic's rumbling bass lines. Unfortunately, Burkhard's time in Nirvana was marked by instability. He reportedly struggled with punctuality and consistency, which clashed with Cobain's increasing focus and determination. As the band began to take itself more seriously, creative tensions and personality differences led to Burkhard's departure later in 1987. He was soon replaced by a revolving door of drummers, including Dale Crover, Melvins, Chad Channing, and ultimately Dave Grohl, each helping Nirvana inch closer to their breakthrough. Even though Aaron Burkhard never played on any of the band's studio albums, his time with Nirvana remains a significant chapter in their origin story. He played on early demos that helped shape the band's foundational sound, and his presence on stage gave Nirvana the necessary momentum to begin building their following in the local scene. After leaving Nirvana, Burkhard continued playing music in various local bands, including Undersin and Attica. He maintained a relatively low profile, especially as Nirvana exploded into superstardom in the early 90s. While he was not part of the Bleach, Nevermind, or In Utero eras, Burkhard was frequently mentioned in biographies and documentaries as the first Nirvana drummer, a distinction that holds historical weight among die-hard fans and music historians. His story gained renewed attention in the 2011 documentary Hit So Hard, which examined the lives of several drummers connected to grunge, and again in the 2014 docuseries Montage of Heck. In interviews, Burkhard has spoken candidly about his time with the band, his struggles, and the surreal experience of watching something he helped start turn into a global phenomenon. Despite missing the rocket ship of fame that Nirvana eventually became, Aaron Burkhard's contribution is not forgotten. He was there at the beginning, when it was all noise, vision, and dream. His early drum parts, raw and unrefined, gave shape to Cobain's earliest songs and helped turn basement rehearsals into legitimate performances. Burkhard's legacy is a reminder that every legendary band has unsung heroes, musicians who may not reach the top with the rest, but who were vital in setting the foundation. His beats were among the first sparks of a revolution that reshaped rock music forever. He may not be in the Hall of Fame or on the cover of iconic albums, but Aaron Burkhard was there when Nirvana was just an idea. And in the history of music, that counts for more than most people realize.